Hi students, I wanted to go over the instructions for assignment IFSP, which stands for Individualized Family Service Plan. An IFSP is a plan that is used to support a child in early intervention up through the age of 3. So if you've heard of an IEP, an Individualized Education Plan, an IFSP is similar, but it's for a child up until they're 3 years old, and one of the big components of an IFSP is the family component. So you'll notice with an IEP, the focus is on the child, but in an IFSP, the focus is on the family. So let's go over some of the instructions for this assignment. So you're going to review the information in Chapter 10 of your textbook. That would be pages 264 to 269 that goes into more detail about what an individualized family service plan is. There are a few samples here. The first two, if you click on them, these are samples that are already filled in from a different textbook, so that will give you an idea of what a completed one looks like. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one because this is a student sample and it looks like the template that you are going to be assigned for this assignment. So let's go ahead and open that one up. And let's rotate it. Okay, so this student created an individualized family service plan, much like the one that you're going to be creating for this class. So I just wanted to pull that up so that you can see the sample, and I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to take you back to the assignment instructions. Okay, so you notice that on the sample that I provided, they used a program like PDF Filler because the IFSP was typed. So I strongly encourage you to use a program like PDF Filler or PDF Pro so that you can have a typed document. So you're going to be completing this on your own using a fictional child. You will make up the information, for example, the child's name, their diagnosis, their abilities, strength, etc. You only need to complete pages 22 through 28. So you're going to go up to section 7, Roman numeral 7 in the packet, in the IFSP packet. So you do not need to complete pages 29 through 30. So in total, since you're doing pages 22 to 28, you're going to be completing 7 pages of the document. You will not have to do all 11 pages. So regarding the program that you use to complete it, I'm going to skip past PDF Filler because students have told me that you end up having to put in information to pay for it. They give you a free trial, but then you have to put your credit card information, and so I don't want you to feel obligated to do that. Just remember to cancel your membership before the 30 days is up if you do in fact choose to use PDF Filler. I found this other PDF Filler website. There's several out there if you Google free PDF Filler. I found this one that allowed me to easily complete the IFSP form for free, and this is PDF Pro. So if you click on the link, I've already done it, so I'll show you what it looks like when it's open. Okay, and so what you have to do when you go to the link, actually I'll show you, that way you can see from the beginning. So when you click on the website, it's going to ask you to upload your file. So you will need to save the blank IFSP document. So when you go back to our assignment, okay, right here under number 3, this is the blank IFSP sample. So this is your template that you're going to use. So I would recommend opening up this sample first, saving it to your computer, and then when you go to the PDF Pro website, you will click to upload your file. Okay, so I am going to search for my file, which would be the sample IFSP blank. That's the way I saved it. You might save it as a different name, up to you. And so once I do that, it's going to upload into the program, the PDF Pro program. It's pretty cool. So we've got to wait for it to upload. Okay, so rather than having you wait, oh, here it goes. Okay, so you see I've already done it. So I'm going to take you, this is just like a cooking show where, you know, they are explaining to you how to make the ingredients, and then voila, they open up the oven and you can see the finished product. So this is kind of the same thing here. So once you have uploaded the blank document, this is the document here. You click on whatever field you want to work on and you can type into it. So it's pretty cool. So I created a child, click into it, and I typed a fictional name, Donovan Harper. and then date of birth over here. Now remember, an IFSP is for a child whose age is 3 and younger. So just make sure that for the date of birth, your date of birth does not exceed the 3-year mark. So we're in 2020, so just make sure that the date of birth doesn't exceed 3 years before the date, just to keep it authentic. Okay, and then you're going to check off male or female. They probably, to be inclusive, will eventually come up with another field, non-binary or other. But for now, we're going to just go with those two. And then you're going to just start filling it in. So here, click on it. So parent, I'm going to put my name. And you're just filling it out. Okay, so I'm going to take you to a student sample so that you can kind of get a better idea of what it looks like when it's completed. Okay, so back to our student sample. This is one that a student created. So you see that they have the child's name, and then they fill out all of this information on top. Everything that you need to complete is outlined in the rubric. So it's really, really important that you follow the rubric so that you know for each section, for example, this is section 1, the rubric will tell you exactly what you need to complete for that section. Each section will tell you how many items you need to list or what parts need to be filled out. And that's how I'm going to be evaluating your IFSP. So something I wanted to also point out, if you notice what I say down here, this is important because I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed. Most likely you are not familiar with creating or reviewing an IFSP. Therefore, the purpose of this assignment is to give you exposure to the different elements of an IFSP. It does not have to be perfect, but you should complete all applicable parts. So make sure you view the rubric, but I just don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed because you've never seen an IFSP before, you've never written one, I'm sure many of you. So I just want you to know that the purpose of this assignment, not only is it to meet our course student learning outcome, but it's really just to give you exposure so that you can get a better perspective of what an IFSP is, what it contains, what its purpose is, etc. All right, so if you take a look at the rubric down here, it tells you exactly what needs to be on each part. Okay, so pages 22 to 28 are completed, and this is to get the full 50 points using a fictional child with fictional needs. And it's totally fine if you have a child who has special needs and you have a child who has an IFSP. By all means, you can use your own child as inspiration for your assignment. But for most of us, you may not have had this experience, and so you're just coming up with your own information. The document is followed logically according to instructions. So on page 23, which is the beginning, all bulleted items under number 2 are addressed, at least one item per bullet. Okay, so number 23, all items are addressed, at least one item per bullet. So if you take a look at the sample, page 23, this is where we are. Here are the bullets. What are your child's likes and dislikes? What are your child's frustrations? How does your child spend his or her day, etc.? So make sure that in your narrative down here, you are giving me information, at least one thing for each bullet. Like, how does your child think, reason, and learn? What are their cognitive skills like? What about their physical development? What about their social emotional development? If you only tell me what they like and they don't like, and then you tell me how well they can feed themselves, and then you tell me about their communication skills, you won't get full points because you're missing all of these other components. So just make sure that you follow the rubric. It will tell you exactly what you need to do for each page. Okay. So after that, in section 2, so on the next page, page 24, at least 2 items per section are listed. Okay. And then in section 3, also page 24, at least 3 services are listed. So if we go back to the document, okay, so section 2 and section 3, you need to have at least 2 items listed for each section. Okay, section 3, at least 3 services. This person had at least 3 services. Okay, and then for page 25, section 4, at least 4 items listed in number 1 and 3 next steps are listed in number 2. So just making sure that you're doing that. So again, 4 items listed in number 1 and 3 next steps. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Okay, so they have at least 4 items in number 1 and at least 3 next steps. This person has 4 next steps, so even better. Okay, and then the next part of the rubric, page 26, section 6, page 27, at least 3 items are listed in what is going to happen chart. And in section 7, page 28, at least 3 people are listed under IFSP team members. 1 person should be a parent, 1 should be a regional service coordinator, and 1 should be a specialist, therapist, and or physician. So I'm actually telling you the types of people that you can list there. So let's take a look at our sample. Okay, so we have at least 3 next steps. And then for people involved, we have more than the minimum requirements. We have parent, we have speech therapist, behavior therapist. This person could have included a physician, but that's okay. All right. So far, so good, hopefully. All right, and so those are the instructions overall for your assignment. And what I am hoping that you do is to submit everything as one document of 7 pages using one of these PDF fillers. If for whatever reason you are not able to use a PDF filler, so I indicate that here, if you are unable to use the PDF filler format option, which is preferred, you may submit a legible handwritten copy. However, if you choose this option, I ask that you please scan your pages so that you can upload as one document versus uploading multiple individual documents. So whether you have a typed format or you are writing a legible handwritten document, I ask that you scan your pages so that everything is uploaded as one document with multiple pages. Because in the past, I've had students submit, 8 or 9 separate pages, and, it's okay if it's 1 or 2 students, but if I have, for example, 80 students in a class and I'm having to open up 80, think about 80 assignments times 8 pages and how many times I'm opening up documents. It's just a lot harder to grade, and it's less fluid and continuous when I'm looking at separate documents from one student versus seeing everything together in one document. So that is our IFSP assignment. I hope that this instructional tutorial has helped. As always, please reach out if you have any questions. You can also post any questions in our Q&A forum and ask students as well. But the textbook is a great resource. There are also, if you notice at the bottom here, there are multiple student samples as well. So if you click on the sample, you'll see multiple samples besides just the one that we referenced at the top. So you can get a sense of all of the different ways that you can follow the rubric and complete the assignment using your fictional child. I look forward to seeing everyone's assignments. Thank you so much.